6 months without football. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been long. It's a lot longer than any of us really hoped or expected it to be. We're not used to that time off, so it gets to a point where you're sort of sitting there not knowing what to do with yourself and just going for runs as much as you can. But at the end of the day, you miss playing football, so it's really nice to be back.
I was going to say, early on in lockdown, what was it like for you? What was a typical day for you early on?
Depending on what Bradders would give to us, it would be we wake up in the morning, we'd all go on Zoom, we'd do a body workout with Bradders leading it, and then we'd sort of have just different runs to do every week. We had Strava, which was nice, so you could see our running results and everything. So a typical day, wake up, have a workout, go for a run, have lunch, and then just sort of try and keep yourself busy.
But it's not what any professional player wants. I know it was an unprecedented situation, but very difficult to deal with, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it was tough. Initially, you sort of there was always sort of hope that we could get back playing, and then it got to a point where we realized it probably wasn't going to happen. So it was just sort of trying to deal with it the best you could, and it was difficult at times, definitely, being stuck in a house, not being able to do much. But again, I think a lot of people, not just footballers, were in the same situation. So.
And then when the season got called off finally, what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, it was disappointing because I think when it come to a close, I thought we were really starting to do well, and I still think 9 or 10 games left. And as a group, we were really excited to finish those 10 games off and see what could have happened. So yeah, it was fairly disappointing, but again, the main thing is keeping everyone healthy and safe. So.
And how's it been now building up to the new season for everybody, would you say?
Yeah, it's been really good, really positive. Training's been sharp. Everyone's come back in good shape, which you never know what's going to happen after such a long time out, but everyone's come back good. Running's been good, training's been good, and I think we're all looking forward to starting the proper season again.
And it's going to be an odd experience, isn't it, without supporters in the stadium? Have you ever had that experience yourself, apart from playing in, I suppose, reserve games where there are very few spectators in for those kind of matches, aren't there?
Yeah, no, that's it. The only experience really is playing reserve games when you go to other team stadiums and there's not a soul in the crowd. So you're not used to it. The whole buzz you get comes from the crowd as well as playing the match. So it's going to be difficult, but every team's in the same position, so you can't make any excuses. You just have to get on with it and show the professionalism.
And in terms for you personally, of course, it's Sheffield Wednesday in the League Cup first round this weekend. A special occasion for you, having started your career there?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be the first time I've got to play against them since I've left. So it's definitely one I'm looking forward to. I had a good time there, broke through into the first team there and sort of started my career off there. So yeah, it's something I'm looking forward to.
And what are your memories of playing for Sheffield Wednesday, Caolan?
Yeah, mainly positives. Obviously, I did the little jump across the city, which wasn't probably fondly remembered by a lot of people in Sheffield, but it was good. It was a lot of learning. Broke through the 21s, had a lot of loans there, so I was sort of in and out of the first team at Sheffield Wednesday. But again, I grew a lot, I learned a lot, and it helped me get to where I am.
And in terms of your own season last season, it was pretty good. You hit double figures, didn't you, for goals? Were you relatively pleased with the way things went for you last season?
Yeah, relatively pleased would probably be a good way of putting it. Always looking to do more and score more. But to get double figures was nice, and I think the competition we have here has been good. And looking forward to kicking on again this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about building, I suppose, now, isn't it? And moving forward in a positive way.
Yeah, exactly. As a player and as a person, you always want to improve year by year. So that's definitely what I'm looking to do.
And just lastly from me, what realistically can Walsall, do you think, hope to achieve this season, Caolan?
Sorry, say that again.
Okay. I said realistically, what do you think Walsall can achieve this season? What are the hopes and aspirations for the season ahead?
I think anything we want to, really. We've got a good settled squad now, and we're all sort of on the same page in terms of how the gaffer wants us to play and what he expects from us. And I think the players now know what he expects of them. So it's going to leave us in a good place for the start of the season, and hopefully we can get as many positive results as we can, and we'll see where it takes us.
Okay, good luck. Thank you very much indeed. Liam?
Cheers, Rob. Caolan, facing your old club, you go into these kind of games with any extra motivation to want to beat?
I think so, yeah. You obviously, you remember your time there well, and you appreciate where you come from, but at the same time, it's your old employer for one reason or another. So you're always wanting to go out there and do your best for the club that you play for, and you want to do one over on them, obviously.
Having it as the League Cup as the first game is a bit unusual, but regardless of what the competition is, and regardless of the fact you're playing a championship side, it's important to make a good start this week to then carry that on into the league.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, they're in the championship. You expect them to be strong over the pitch, but you expect us to go out there and put on a good show and go toe-to-toe with them. You can say whatever you want about them championship players and stuff, but as long as we work as hard as them and put in a shift, then you never know what can happen. And you get a positive result, it's going to set us up very nicely for the season.
You mentioned there about wanting to, you were reasonably happy with last season's goal scoring efforts. You set yourself any targets going into the new season, that what you want to achieve, trying to hit that and then go from there?
Yeah, you have targets as players. Some players like to share them, some don't. I'm not going to share my targets, but yeah, I've definitely set personal targets. And like I said earlier, you want to improve it season by season. So that's my goal, is to improve on what I did last season.
You're one of the more experienced players. Oh, I think I'm back, guys.
Yeah, you're back, yeah.
So I should have mentioned that does happen with my internet occasionally. Yeah, I was just saying you're one of the more experienced players in the squad now. As I said, it's quite a young squad. So do you find yourself still finding things you can improve on as well? It's still a learning curve, or do you find that you know everything you need to know? It's just a case of sort of putting it together with the team.
Again, I think as a player, you can always improve. Different managers, different coaches have different ideas for you. You might think you're a certain type of player, but there's always people that come in and maybe make you say, oh yeah, you know what, you're right there. I can work on that. I can do this. And I'm always willing to learn. So if someone comes to me and says, I need to do this, then I'm willing to do that. So yeah, I'm definitely not the finished article by any means. And yeah, I'm willing to improve anywhere I can.
Just a little bit on the formations. It's been there was a lot of different formations last season. There's been a little bit of 4-2-3-1 going on in pre-season, and again a bit of experimenting as well. Yourself personally, do you prefer playing as a lone striker with the support coming from the wings and in behind, or do you prefer having a strike partner there with you?
Personally, I don't really mind it. Luckily, I've done both in my career for different managers have asked for different things. So whether it's one or two up front, doesn't really bother me. It's obviously, it depends on the opposition and who we're playing really, and what the gaffer wants. But I think you can probably say all the strikers here are pretty comfortable playing as a one or two as well.
Just finally for me, with Marcus Stewart having moved on, I know he was a big influence on the strikers there at the club. What's the effect been with him leaving and you guys working on your drills without him being there?
Yeah, it was disappointing to see him go. It was a nice person to sort of talk to and bounce ideas and different things off of. So yeah, it's sad to see him go, but I think now, not saying that the gaffer wasn't involved last season, because obviously he's the gaffer of the club, but he's been sort of more into the strikers, sort of watching us after training and certain things. So it's been good in that sense. But again, we've got good coaches at the club. So Stu's obviously going to be a miss for the strikers, but we've got people coming to help us every day as well.